Good morning. 7 minutes until it's not morning. All right, so I am going to give you all the latest and the greatest updates on our land purchase and take time to get your feedback on it or get questions that you might have lingering in your hearts and minds. So just to start, I'll give you a little bit of background how we have arrived at this moment in history. So you'll remember probably about a year ago, we decided, hey, we need to go to 2 services. Why? Because we're growing. God is doing really neat things here in the body of Greenmont, and your response was, let's make room for more people. And so we've got lots of new families, lots of kids, lots of youth. If you come on Wednesday night with youth, I think last week there was just over 40 kids downstairs, and they're playing soccer and football in the parking lot. They're playing basketball after church in between when cars are pulling out. They're going across the street to play capture the flag and have a campfire. That's not exactly ideal. So last year we said, let's go to 2 services. Let's make more room in the sanctuary for families on Sunday morning. And we'll look for a larger location, another building, another piece of land that we can expand. And so I've been doing that, about 14 to 15 different properties that I've analyzed. And the piece of property that I brought to you, I guess about 4 or 5 weeks ago now, we are suggesting or recommending as elders and stewardship team that we take the next step. And that next step is bringing it to the body for an official vote, if you will. So I want to give you all of the details that we have this morning and get your feedback. It changed. It changed since the first service. But those are like hieroglyphics. Anthony's slides, by the way, were much prettier than mine will ever be. Okay? So we have a piece of land. It's a mile down the road. It's right by enlisted auction. It's 17.9 acres, so right around 18 acres. And that's going to afford us all kinds of opportunities to not only build a facility where we can go back to our one service, but it's going to afford us the opportunity to have space outside for picnics, for campfires, for night vespers, if you will, with the youth group gathering and running around and playing. It's going to give us a lot of opportunity to grow and to minister to more and more people in our body and in the community. So it's great location. It's a piece of property that checks all of the high-level boxes. It's got great entrance. It's got, 350 foot of road frontage. It's got good soil that's going to accommodate all of the flushes that we need to accommodate on Sunday morning. So the size, the land use, the infrastructure possibilities all check out. And that's all at a high level. So we're going to obviously continue to dig in and confirm and reaffirm. We want every I dotted and every T crossed before we move forward. But so far, so good. Next slide, please. So I will give you these little images again. You have seen them. I want you to see these things several times so that when we come to vote day, no one can come up and say, do you have a picture? Here it is. And this picture is only meant to give you scale so that you can see what the possibilities are. Anthony drew the black square that is exactly twice the size of this building. So just throwing it out like, hey, what would fit here? So that black square is 2 times the size of what you're sitting in, and then the light gray around it, you can go to the next slide, the light gray around it is the parking area. So that is all on the top probably 2 acres of the parcel. Everything behind it, so the remaining 14, 15 acres, is space that we can use for outdoor picnics, soccer, kickball, community gatherings, whatever we want to do. So there's all kinds of possibility for this piece of property. Okay, go to the next slide. And so what we have done thus far as relates to this piece of land. A couple weeks ago, or I guess at this point, that long ago. August 3rd, we met, invited the body to meet us on site. We walked around, we prayed over the land, we prayed for wisdom, clarity, discernment, answered questions. We've done all of the high-level feasibility stuff, and it checks all the boxes. We sat down as an elder team and with stewardship to look at the numbers. Hey, is this something that this body can take on right now? And so again, everything kind of checks, everything checks. Green light, green light, green light. So today I'm just going to run through a timeline with you of if we move forward with this purchase, what is the timeline? What different steps need to be considered? And we are right on time. Look at that. September 14th is the Sharing the Timeline Congregational Life meeting, and we're right on the money. So that's what we're doing now, and then there would be an official vote. So the body would have opportunity to give your feedback. Hey, is this something that we should pursue or not? So that would be coming in 2 weeks. So if it goes under contract, if you all, the body, say, yes, let's do this, and it goes under contract, I would suggest another 60-day study period just to make sure. Let's get the drain field designed. Let's get those soil guys to put their engineering stamp on it so we don't have any issues. We would close on the property, and then we would transition from the land search team to the land development team. And that team would be responsible for creating the master plan. So let's look at the 18 acres and let's say, hey, what should go where? Because what we don't want to have happen is we cut an entrance in, put a picnic pavilion up and some nice parking places, only to realize a year down the road that, hey, that's really where the drain field should go, right? We want to avoid that. So we want to get ahead of that, create a plan, pull in key ministry leaders, so somebody from the kids team, from the youth team, from the worship team, the audiovisual team, the safety and security team, so we make sure we're seeing everything that we need to see as we plan the use of the land and the building. We would put together some architecture, some images, some floor plans, blueprints, present that to you all so that you could be part of that process as we were dreaming and drawing, if you will. Once we have all of the architecture done, land use done, we would come back and say, hey, here it is. This is what it's going to cost. And we would start a capital campaign to raise funds in order that we could then go ahead and execute the plan. The neat thing is, once we have that master plan in place, we could go ahead and start using the piece of property. We put the picnic pavilion in. Youth group can go have campfires and bonfires, play capture the flag, have nights of worship outside. So we could go ahead and do some of those things once we had that master plan in place. I would love it. I would absolutely love it if by the time we got to that point that the land purchase was completely paid off. So once we start raising money for the building, we pay off the land, and then we can go to the next step. So that would be ideal. If everything just went smoothly, we could break ground on a new facility in about 18 to 24 months. So that is a projected project timeline, just for information's sake. Next slide, please. Aha! This is the ballot. So in 2 weeks, you will see this document with a few edits that is seeking your feedback, affirmation or not. But one thing I want to point out here is that we are not merely asking for you to put a little check mark in the yes box. That's great. I mean, if you feel like God's leading that direction and you want to join that movement, yes, put yes on this ballot. However, that is not everything we need to move forward. Because it's really easy to vote, yes, you go buy this piece of land. But that is a very different reality from saying, we are going to go buy this piece of land. So if you are voting yes, and we have 75% affirmation, that doesn't necessarily mean we move forward. What we're looking for, elders and stewardship, is a commitment from individuals in the body that will back up their yes vote with a financial commitment. Okay, we're asking for one-time gifts. 10% of the land purchase price is what we need in order to say, you know what, there is enough energy and excitement and support for us to move forward. Does that make sense? So we will ask, do you want us to move forward with the purchase of this property? Yes or no? And if yes, I can't imagine anyone financially committing if they say no. So if yes, I am willing to participate with this with a one-time financial commitment. And we're looking for about 10% of that purchase price in order for us to take the next step. A note about giving. is also a little section you'll see there. So we are not asking for you to say, oh, this is cool. I'm going to move my regular tithes and offerings over to this land purchase operation. That's not actually very helpful, because your regular giving and your tithes support the ministries that are currently taking place. And God is blessing those ministries. That's why we're growing. As we're seeking to live and to know, as we're living to know and love Jesus, as we're growing together in Christ together, as we're serving one another, as we're going and making his name known, we're feeling the effect of that and growing, okay? And your normal tithes and offerings support those ministries. What we're saying is, above and beyond what you normally give, are you excited about and willing and able to give a one-time check, donation, gift to this project? So hopefully that makes sense. So that's the ballot that'll come out in a couple weeks here. You can go to the next slide. There are no more slides. There were no more slides this morning either, actually. Let me pull out my notes and see if I hit everything, and then I'll open it up for questions. Yeah, well, I think that's high level, everything I wanted to say. So I will open it up for questions. Mr. David Hanslick will be a mic runner for us. Thank you. So does anyone have questions? Yes. Perora is this.
Remind us, what actually is the purchase price?
$400,000. Sorry, it was on the jumbled slide. $400,000.
Okay, and how much have we, how much have we?
I can repeat it.
Okay, there we go. How much do we have in a fund for the land right now?
So the stewardship is saying that we would put down $160,000 against that $400,000 purchase, plus our 10%. Now, a note on that whole 10% thing real quick, that's a minimum. Like, let's just go ahead and pay for the whole thing. Okay, so when you're filling out your forms, don't limit yourself to, hey, they only need 10%. Like, let's not let that, let's just pay for the whole thing. But yes, $160,000 down, and then the contributions from the body.
I think you answered this. Will we move, or are we going back to one service?
Yes, that is the goal.
The schedule said the 21st, and you said 2 weeks, so I'm just checking on 21st or 28th.
Oh, man. 2 weeks. Thank you, Scott. 2 weeks.
I'm getting up there in years, and I like to plan ahead. And I was wondering, is there going to be a permanent resting place on the property for those of us that wish to stay part of the body here?
Next question, please. That has not yet been discussed, so that could be part of that land development team, but currently no plans for permanent resting places of bodies.
Right, so many of us have been here for a very long time. I think you fit in that category, David. What happens to this location?
We would plan to sell this location once we were able to move to help pay down debt. No, that is not written in stone. Yes, sir.
Would it be possible to put in a church garden?
So those kind of things would be a part of that land development team. So that idea would be put into their hands to figure out if that would be something that we could do on that property. Certainly enough space for it.
What kind of timeline are we looking at between breaking ground and actually being able to use the facilities?
Let's say 18 months. I don't know. I've never built a church before. That's not true. We are building this church. I have never built a facility for the church to gather in before.
So let's just, worst case scenario, there's not enough money, not enough commitment. have the elders considered a backup plan?
Good question. So yes, if we get to the vote and we will not move forward based on the results of the vote, we would just continue to meet here for the foreseeable future, and no timeline on that, but we would just try again in the future, down the road, when another opportunity presented itself. But the plan would be, if we don't move forward with the purchase of the land, is just to continue to meet here with our two services and another service if growth would require such.
How much would it be for the building? Like, what's the projected price for that?
So without having detailed architectural plans, we're not necessarily able to give a specific price. So we want to purchase the land, get that land use master plan created, then get the architecture so we can get specific quotes before moving on. But it's going to be a couple million. I mean, without specifics, it'll be millions. There are lots of trees on the property, some of which have value. So as part of the paying off any debt, we do have contact with folks that would come and purchase the timber.
My suggestion, the reason I'm asking is because if we brought in a sawmill, you could have some of the lumber and use it for construction.
Sure. Yep. It's a good idea. Any other questions about the land? Yes.
On the one-time contribution that you mentioned, what is the timeline that you would expect that money?
That's an excellent question. So we would want to close on the property within 60 days of putting down the contract. So we would want to be able to access that money at the time of closing, ideally. What's that? Which would be 60 days following the contract, which I think on my little timeline said October 6th. So October 6th plus 60 days. Wherever that puts it. December.
Where is the property for those who don't know?
It's a mile down the road on the right next to enlisted auction.
Which side?
On the enlisted auction side. So you go, if you leave this building and you go left, you drive a mile down the road, you will pass enlisted auction, then you'll pass a little house, and then the 18 acres. Maybe another question or two? Yes, Gerard.
I wish I could frame this better, but I know you, David, and I feel like there's a divide. There's normal people who don't normally spend $2 million to buy things they want, and then there's David Brenneman. This isn't hard for you, is it?
I'm trying to figure out the root of that question. So what is not hard for me is to see opportunity, and is to see what God is doing, how he's moving, how he's growing. And in 10 years, man, we can't just be in here. And so land is an opportunity to respond to how God is growing. And this particular piece of land is a great opportunity. Numbers don't scare me. Maybe one more question, and then I'll hang out if you have other questions, which I expect. Mary Ann?
Just a thought. I love George Mueller. We're not guides, he provides. Yes. So he guides us, he will provide for us.
Absolutely. And we can end on that note because we as elders aren't coming, or the stewardship team, we're not coming and saying, this, you have to vote yes. You have to vote yes. We want you to seek the Lord. We want you to pray and discern with us. Discern with us. And that's why we have this process. Okay, so we're going to have this process. And if God is moving us as a body to purchase this piece of property, he's going to provide for it. He's going to provide for it. So,
Is there anything on that form that we use
you can suggest to your heart's content. There will be an entire backside. All right, so I think we'll shut her down now, but if you do have questions, feel free to grab me. Anthony is also here, one of the elders. I think Randy is gone. I know Seth is, but we can try to direct your question to somebody else if we're not able to answer. Thank you all. Go eat some loaves.